Hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know why I can't get the audio. That's on me. But Nikki, what's up?
Yes. What's up, guys? We are episode 14 of Rush Hour. We're trying out a new time since you guys like to hop in the chat closer to like 7:50, 8 o'clock, and then you miss half the show. So we are so happy that you are here with us hanging out. We're gonna see how this new time slot goes. And guess what? We are doing the NFC East panel tonight. Danny, are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm ready to hold our own
Yeah,
because
we got quite a crew coming in
we
for you
got the
guys.
Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders. I was actually joking with my wife how many times I was going to probably say the R words, but I'm going to keep it professional.
Ooh, you can't say the R
I
word.
know, but I'm so
Oh, no,
trained, but
no.
I'm
Can't.
not going to say it. But Nikki, without
Yes,
further ado, you want to introduce them, and I'll bring them up.
I do. Let's
First,
go.
let's bring up Rio. He's the Washington Redskin. See, I almost did
Oh,
it.
you
Washington
should
Commander fan.
have to take a
What's up,
shot
Rio?
every
Oh
time you
man,
say
drinking game.
Yeah,
You got to take a shot, and I didn't even pop on screen yet.
yeah,
word of the
yeah.
night.
I don't have
R
a
word.
shot yet, but the R words.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the team with more names than playoff wins in the last 20 years. How
We'll
y'all
we'll
doing
get we'll
tonight?
get into that, and also representing the Dallas Cowboys, we got DMV fanatic who
Yes.
actually lives by Rio. So it's so confusing that their guy repping the Cowboys is from the DC area as well. What's going on, DMV? How's it going tonight?
Uh, hey, it's going pretty good, man. You know, we had some sound check issues earlier, but we look like we're going good right now. And me and Rio, we meet up quite a bit at Mark Holmes' house, so
Yep.
we know each other very well.
Oh yeah, that's my guy. Oh yeah, we knock down them Jobu wings on Sundays, man.
Nice.
I'm glad you guys brought up wings. All right. What
We're
do you
doing
dip?
this already?
Yeah, we're doing it right now. It's my show.
Right
What
to
do
it.
you dip your wings in? Blue cheese, ranch, anything else?
If they Jobu wings, I don't dip them in nothing. They good by
Nothing.
themselves.
Facts. Fact.
All
Me,
right.
me personally, I don't discriminate. My answer is yes, because I like them both. I like both sauces, and I will not be forced to pick between the blue cheese and ranch are both good dipping sauces.
Yeah, I like both, but ranch has more versatility for other things. But
Well, ranch is
True.
vile, and I'm kicking you all out. So
I was told by a chef you're supposed to do blue cheese. That's what I was told. I do both.
blue cheese
Mhm.
all the way, or like not every wing, like maybe every couple. I don't think you
Some
need.
of us like options, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I know, Darius. Your team ranch. So our Eagles representative, I think he's coming on in about 10 minutes, so he's gonna be a little late, but we will get
yeah,
rolling
effectively.
before.
Ready.
Yes. Before we get started, I just want to thank everybody who donated to the Sleep Out fundraiser that I was hosting. I did hit my goal today. Thank you, of $2,000. You guys made it happen in a week. I signed up a week ago because a lot of you guys asked me on social media if I was doing it. And it is a really, really great cause. I'm so excited that we've hit our goal of $2,000. So I will be sleeping at the stadium tomorrow night. And what's interesting is I have to be back Friday morning to cover mini camp. So we're going to see how this goes. I might go to my media check-in with like grass in my hair, and I just don't. I don't even know.
Do you
But
have your
I
sleeping
do.
bag ready?
My sleeping bag is ready. It's hot pink. So, and I will be taking live video. So, everybody watch out for that. But I do want to thank you guys so much. I know a lot of you in the chat donated and you got the word out to everybody. So I really do appreciate it. It means a lot that you guys are a very supportive community. And if I ask you to donate $5-10 within a week, like we were able to do it. So just shout out to everybody for supporting such a great cause for, we want to stop sex trafficking and youth homelessness and women who are battered and have nowhere to go. So it's Women Unite NJ. This is being hosted by Brian Dable's wife and Joe Shane's wife. So I will be sleeping over in MetLife Stadium tomorrow.
Courtney's in now, so I'm gonna bring
Courtney's
him
in
in.
now. Here we go.
Hey,
There
Courtney,
he
what's
is.
up? Fashionably late. Up, you're muted.
This NFC East panel, technical difficulties today. Leave it to all of us. My goodness.
Hey, except no technical difficulties
I
on
know.
this. Only the real team on this side got technical difficulties.
There's
Can you guys
Courtney.
hear me
What's
now?
up?
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful. How's it going tonight, Courtney?
Oh, now you're muted again.
Again.
My goodness.
Howie Roseman said he can't be giving away our trade secrets.
The Super Bowl, so, but I'm doing well though. Thank you guys. I'm really excited to dive into this NFC Beast of a division. So very excited.
Yeah. Did you have to put the Eagles logo behind you? I mean,
You know me well. You
I
already
do.
know. You
I
know
do.
me too well. So yes, I had to put the Eagles background on there. Yes, definitely.
I do. We know each other a long time.
Yes.
I am Courtney's kryptonite in fantasy football. Just when he
Yes.
thinks he's gonna win, here I come and kick you right off your pedestal. And
She is.
yes, I am your
She is. She
kryptonite.
beats me every time. I get number 1 seed the last 2 years, and somehow, some way, she beats me every time. So yeah, that's
You gotta give her something. Watching our team get smoked by you guys every year.
Oh God, it's so depressing. But I'm glad to have you guys all here. I have to tell you something funny. When I asked DMV to come on, his exact words to me were, "Only you, Nikki. Any other Giants fan, I tell them to kick rocks. I ain't doing their show."
I definitely said that. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely said that. You also do a fantastic hair shake, which is great.
Yeah, every time I let the braids out, I gotta show her the hair shake.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. When Tuto gets in the chat, we'll tell him to request a hair shake from you instead of me. All right, guys. So overall, let's start with Rio. Give me an overview of how you felt your team drafted. What was it? Was it a week ago? No, a couple days ago already.
About a week ago.
Yeah. How do you feel overall? We'll get into grades and stuff, but just overall feeling happy, satisfied.
Probably I'm somewhere in the gray area in between. Like I
Okay.
feel like we had a very C+ lukewarm draft. I feel like it's the epitome of what Ron Rivera's been with his tenure in Washington so far. It's exactly what it's been the whole time. We haven't been good. We haven't been bad. We've been in the purgatory of in between. We've been in the kind of sunken place of the NFL landscape since Ron got here. And honestly, for the last 20 years. So it wasn't sexy. We got better. We got a couple starters. I'm fine with it. Let's roll. The guys are back out on the field wearing jerseys, doing exercises. So I'm feeling good right now.
Feeling good. Courtney, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Excellent.
A++.
Drop his speed. Yeah, no.
A++++ on the draft.
Oh.
I mean, Howie Roseman, he never like, I was saying something to someone the other day. I said, if I was another GM, another team, and he's calling me, and I'm saying I'm not picking up the phone because he's gonna get these deals done. He does it every single time. I don't know how he does it and he just does it well. So I mean, I'm glad he's my GM. So, but no, I'm for real. I had a great. I thought it was a great draft. Getting Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. I mean, a lot of Georgia Bulldogs, lots of the champion Georgia Bulldogs, Keely Ringo. So they did a really good job, and they're trying to go for this 3 to 5 year window. I think that's what they're trying to do. Like they're trying to set up for that. They know they got a lot of veterans that are going to be either retiring or going to another team. So they're just setting up for the next few years. So I love the draft, what they did, getting the pieces that they needed to get on another run. So I was very excited.
Must be nice.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really want to say like we're happy for you. I mean, great. So anyway, DMV, give it to me. How do you feel about the Cowboys?
So the Cowboys are like so deep on especially on the defensive side of the ball. So we did a pretty solid, depth draft. Was it a contention draft? No, it wasn't. But for the future, I think a lot of our picks will be pretty good players, man. I mean, for the most part, I know that Mike McCarthy running the offense this year, it wasn't as easy to tell what kind of guys they were going to get coming out. So a lot of us were disappointed. But I think it's more of a wait and see kind of draft. Was I one that, am I over the hill on it? No, y'all probably saw me and Mark Holmes almost coming to blows, you know what I'm saying, about the first pick.
Yeah.
But I ultimately think that it was a productive draft. I don't think you'll see it right away, but I think a couple years from now, you'll be like, man, Dallas did a hell of a job like they always do. So.
All right. Well, let's keep it there on everybody's first round draft pick. And I'll just say that, and I think Danny agrees with me because we did talk about this. I think the Giants had a really good draft, right? I got to give them solid, I'll go A- because I know there's a couple players that were questionable, a couple scouting specials in there that nobody really knew too much about.
Right.
But I think overall that they had a really, really nice draft. The first 3 picks alone just get them a grade A for me. So, all right, DMV, let's talk about it. Maisie Smith for your first round pick. I mean, Cowboys Nation was not too thrilled.
Yeah, and I was one of them at first, man. Until I really thought about it, I had to really digest it. And I'm not one of those people that react well. Like, I got to be able to just sit and be able to think in solitude before you throw a mic in my face. Because if you do, you ain't gonna get the best reaction. But a couple of hours later, I was okay with the pick because they had a plan for him. So for me, I gave that pick a B+. I think he's gonna come in, he's gonna start, and they have a plan for him, and I'm excited about that.
Okay, sounds good. Rio, what Emmanuel Forbes? I mean, it's pretty good.
Emmanuel Forbes is good. See, the thing is, like DMV said, some of us, we just can't hide what we feel, and our immediate reaction is terrible. I'm doing my draft stream with my boys, about 7 of us. We gather every year together to watch the first round of the draft. And we pretty much started a prayer circle at about pick 7, trying to push Christian Gonzalez down to 16. We all thought it was delusional. No way he's going to get to 16, right? So each pick goes by, we're running around the room like some little kids. Oh my God, Christian Gonzalez getting close. But we still didn't figure we'd get him. And then he falls in our lap. And we're all like ready to get purchase number 0 jerseys, the first number 0 in the franchise's history. And then they said Emmanuel Forbes, which completely threw all the vibes in the room off. So my reaction, I walked away. I was pissed. I said some things, but I did say, I mean, he is good, though. Like, I'm not going to act like he's not good. Emmanuel Forbes is good. He has some of the best turnover production we've seen in the history of college football. He weighs like 75 pounds, but the guy is a willing tackler. He plays with heart, and he's going to walk into this cornerback room, probably the best guy in that room and in the secondary in general the day he steps in town. So I'm content with the pick, even though I'm always going to feel like, what if? And I hope it's not a situation where we took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. Like,
honestly, that probably started the Eagles.
Fired.
I had to.
Thank you. We love it. We certainly do. All right, Courtney, Jalen Carter. What's going on?
Let me address that Jalen Reagor comment real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Everybody off, and then we haven't drafted.
We've gotten Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, so we can put that Jalen Reagor comment to the side now. That's over with. It's funny. He's on Minnesota now, so hey, there you go. Good for him. But no, that was a bad, really bad pick. But Jalen Carter. I went to the actual Eagles draft party here, and it was a Bijan Robinson and Jalen Carter. I was asking people around, like, who do you want? And I was like, the Eagles usually pick defense always. They always usually they pick from the defensive line or offensive line. They always pick from the line, so they pick from the inside out normally. So when Jalen Carter kept slipping, and we know he had some history, good background history and all that too, but I was like, man, he's going to fit right in. Playing on that defensive line, if he falls to us, at one point he was the number 1 rated player going into the draft before all the things happened. So I didn't think we had a chance to get him until he started slipping, and I was like very excited when he just fell. He literally fell into our laps. That's just the way it was, and he still should have been picked higher from someone, but I guess no one wanted that, wanted to pick him. And, the Eagles are like, hey, slip right to us. We'll take him. And I was very excited to add him to the defensive line that we already have that's been dominant. So, yeah. Very
Yeah,
excited.
I bet. No, so I had him going to the Seahawks, and I had you
Yeah.
guys taking Van Ness. So I was for the rest of the panel. You guys all jump in. Were you shocked that Jalen Carter started to fall?
No,
Nah, I
No?
wasn't. Nah.
not at all.
I thought he would fall further, honestly, because GMs are stupid. Well,
Right.
not Howie. So Howie.
Yeah, no, I knew he wasn't going to get past the Eagles. There was no shot.
And they had to move up. They moved
up one spot.
Because I think the Bears were actually looking at him, and so the Eagles were like, "Let's move up this one spot so we can actually get him." And that's what they did that. And I got to thank the New Orleans Saints for that 9th pick too.
Right.
I didn't think he'd make it past Seattle. I thought that Seattle was going to take him, but they're putting together the Legion of Boom 2.0 down there. Their secondary is bananas right now.
And I think with the Eagles, their roster and their whole organization right now, they're able to take that blow if, God forbid, something was to happen to him again, or anything in a scenario of him having to face charges, which I don't think he will. But like the scenario of them being able to absorb the bust potential to it is a lot easier than any other team in the top 10, obviously, because most of them can't afford making that risk of a pick.
They have the luxury.
It was a luxury. It was a huge luxury. And then he's going to be playing behind guys like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham,
right?
Professionals who he can learn from. He wants to come to work. He said that, I know a lot of times when they talk to the media, they wants to come to work. They say they want to work hard. They work hard. And, that was a question going into the draft, that his motor, things like that. But, he's with some of his former teammates too from Georgia too. So that could help him moving forward too. So, I was very excited that he dropped to the Eagles.
No. No, we're not. Well, you know what though? I'm very excited that Deonte Banks just kind of fell into the Giants' lap. I did have them take Addison, but I had a feeling Minnesota was going to take him. And I had said, if we go Deonte Banks, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, Wink Martindale was so friggin' excited. Like, I'm excited. This kid is really going to fit in Wink's defense. He's going to be opposite Adoree Jackson, and he's going to challenge these opposing receivers. And Danny, let's face it, to compete in this division, you have got to think, I have to get past Dallas. I have to get past Philly. I don't have to get past Washington because we own them. So, I mean, I was so happy.
I'll let you have that.
I had to. Sorry.
All jokes aside, Nikki, you're right, because obviously even with Washington, they have dogs at wide receiver. They have Scary Terry. They have Dotson, who's gonna explode next year, and then
Curtis.
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Curtis as well. Like, it's really the wide receivers, other than us, are scary in the whole division. Obviously, we have to face Lamb with the Cowboys, and we gotta face Smith, and everybody knows the division. We're obviously the weakest wide receiver team, and only legit corner we have is Adoree, and if we have to put him at punt returns again, and God forbid get hurt again, we're gonna have Fabian Moreau missing tackles on Scary Terry. That was terrible.
I know that guy very well. I know him very well.
I know. I'm sure you do. That was so bad. That was so bad.
But yeah, obviously we needed a lot of positions, like you and me have talked about ad nauseum. But I'm glad we got Banks. Hopefully he's our CB 1 or 2 for the next decade. I mean, that
would be nice to get like about 7 years out of him. What I liked about the Giants the most, and we haven't had this in a long time, Joe Shane, they were just aggressive, right? This was their guy. And I like when GMs do this. They'll go, and I don't mind the trade if it makes sense. Be aggressive. Go get your guy. If that's your guy, you think he can make an impact, go ahead and do it. And I think, as much as I hate to say, I think the Eagles have shown that that's the way to do it. And the Eagles have done a fantastic job, unfortunately, of building through the draft. So I think they've kind of set the tone and the model for the rest of the league. But we'll just run through your guys' couple other picks. For the Giants, we had JMS and Jalen Hyatt, Eric Gray, Trey Hawkins, Jordan Riley, Javarius Owens. So I think that was pretty solid for us. I'm excited for Jalen Hyatt, right? I think you know, this kid is fast, really, really, really fast. And he can threaten some of these defenses. So we haven't seen that since OBJ here in, you know, Giants land. So, you know, we're a little bit excited. So, all right, Rio, who'd you guys get? You got, I can't even say some of these names.
I got you, but before we leave your guys.
Yeah, we forgot Courtney had another first-round draft pick.
Oh yeah, hell
Smith.
yeah, Nolan Smith. Yo, got
go Nolan Smith. Okay,
another Georgia Bulldog, the Philadelphia Bulldogs, man. I mean,
I know. Change that logo.
I know. I should have been to the Bulldogs, right? And yeah, Nolan Smith, another player that was ranked high in a lot of mock drafts, and he fell down to the bottom. So it just the Eagles, they're retooling their defensive line, and like I said before, they are playing for now and the future for the next few years. And getting someone like Nolan Smith, who's undersized, about 230 pounds, but he's on the other side with Hassan Reddick on that other side, and they can just pressure the quarterback. And he was good on against the run too. So yeah, just bolster the defensive line.
Yeah, and back to Nikki before I get into our draft class.
Yeah.
Your boy Jalen Hyatt. There's this clip going out with him and some Dallas coach.
Thanks,
that Dallas coach said nothing wrong to that man, and he didn't typecast him or anything. He told him what he was. Like, you have speed. That's your type of receiver. And he goes out and said, I can run routes too, and ran some of the dirtiest looking routes I've seen in a minute. None of them routes were crisp at all, but let's talk about our draft real quick. All those, I'm just saying, if you're going to make a statement to a coach with NFL films recording you, have your routes not look like dirt. He looked like one of them dudes off All American on the CW running
CW
routes with dirt. I know what a dirt route looks like. We got De'Ami Brown on this team, but our second round pick, Jartavius Quan Martin out of Illinois. He was out there with Devin Witherspoon. That's the consensus favorite pick of our draft is that one because he's filling in the Bobby McCain role, but he's coming in with more athleticism. Bobby McCain, solid player. He's kind of slow, and he was a absolute liability on third down. I hope you guys start him in the slot because our receivers are going to do nasty things to him on third downs. But Jartavius Martin is a 4-4 guy. He could play the safety role. He could play the nickel. He's the Swiss Army knife we could put all around our defense. In the third round, we got us a big ugly. We got us either a backup center behind Nick Gates and Ricky Stromberg or someone who's going to compete at guard, but I think they want to keep him at center. And then after there, the draft just gets kind of like, we'll see how it goes. We traded up for an edge and KJ Henry. I like that pick. And after that,
bro, KJ Henry is a dog, bro.
Yeah,
Go take another look.
I like KJ Henry. KJ Henry was like the last pick I understood the vision for because Chris Rodriguez out of Kentucky, not a bad running back, but he's exactly like our starting running back, which is a bruiser. We lack a home run hitter that could break 150 yards on the roster. In our 7th round pick, we took another edge. We doubled up at edge because we have no edges left on the roster after this season expires. But we took a guy out of Louisiana who's awful. He's terrible. Andre Jones, he's terrible. He's probably not going to make the roster or the practice squad. So
I have to ask one thing, Rio, since he's very big in most Giant fans' hearts. So with the draft pick of Stromberg, what do you think is going to happen with Nick Gates? We actually had him on it like a couple of months ago. Nikki met him like a month ago as well. So he was a big fan favorite for us for obvious reasons. He's a tough guy. He's not the best player, but obviously he gets the jobs done, and he's obviously easy to root for. So from our perspective of things, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen with Nick Gates with Stromberg?
Barring health, he's the starter. He's the starting
even with Stromberg?
Yeah, he's the starter. Okay. They brought him in on a multi-year deal to start. Right. I think we're going to cut his predecessor, Chase Rouillet, a fan favorite here, but he's played 10 games in the last 2 years. I think he's going to get released with a post-June 1 designation alongside someone else. I think he's the starter, and Stromberg is going to be the backup, and he's there for depth. We want depth at center because last year we played like 5 different centers, and we want to never go through that again.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with you.
We have a question. They want to know, Rio, is Chase Young ever going to be the same?
What's the same? What you mean like the same as when he came out?
What his hype, I guess, right? He was so hyped up, right? Like
I'm just hoping he's good. I just want him to be good. I think the ship has sailed on great. I think if he could be Jadeveon Clowney, I'm cool with it at this point.
Okay.
But honestly, I think he's gone next year anyway. So I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I think Chase is up out of here, and I hope he can find.
because you got to pay both of your D tackles. So
hell yeah,
you already did one.
And if we choose one between him and Sweat, Sweat's the better football player. Chase has the higher ceiling. I don't know if that ceiling will ever be reached though.
I'm still pissed that we passed up on Sweat. That was one of the funny, come on.
Sweat's good. Sweat's solid. But Chase, love the guy. The guy still doesn't have pass rush plan or ability 4 years into his career. And I know he got hurt. So did Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa terrorizes the league. I don't want to hear the excuse. Show up to OTAs and ball out and stop being Mr. Celebrity Superstar Man until you do it on the field.
Yeah, I mean, right? And so it's been said. That's it. All right. So you guys got your answer on Chase Young. All right, DMV, take us through the rest of your draft. Give it to us. How are you feeling? Anybody sticking out to you? Anybody terrible that you're not happy with?
I kind of, for the most part, I liked all of our picks because, I did extensive research throughout this thing. I did like a draft show every week. The only thing that I didn't really like about our draft is I felt like we valued the way that the board was going. We got guys a little bit too early, but I think they felt like they wouldn't get to them. So our second round pick was a Schoonmaker out of Michigan, the tight end.
I was going to ask you about him.
Yeah, so for me, like the way that I looked at my draft grades, I had value, need, and fit, like how I gave grades. So for me, I thought the value was trash, but I think that as far as being a blocker and what we need, a tight end 3 coming out, I think Dallas wants to get back to running the football, wham blocking, moving the tight end, H-back and stuff like that. So from what I understand, he's going to come in hitting the ground running because out of all of the tight ends that they had graded, they had him as the best blocking tight end based on day one and not having to reteach things. Our third round pick, DeMarvion Overshown, that was about a third round, fourth round pick.
I like that
For
guy.
me, I don't know what we're going to do with him. He's a Swiss Army knife. He had 3 different coaches out in Texas. So he started out as a safety. They moved him to backer. Again, that's more of a future thing. You know, we got a deep safety room, deep cornerback room. So I think his way on the field is going to be will linebacker and special teams. We got a junior Fahoko, Mountain West kid, like a small school guy that most people don't know about in San Diego State. He's going to probably play 3 technique for us. He's probably the best kept secret in this draft. Again, we probably got him a little too high, but I think with what Dan Quinn does, if Dan Quinn wants him, so that's the thing about Dan Quinn. If Dan Quinn just picks a small school guy that nobody knows about and it's under wraps, they normally end up being the better players. Then we ended up getting Asim Richards, tackle. I don't really think it's that good of a pick. They rave about him. I don't really see it, but we'll see. You know, I've been wrong before. We got Eric Scott Jr. out of Southern Miss, I think, or something like that. Corner, again, tall corner. Nobody knows anything about him. No film. Dan Quinn probably got a steal. And he was like, I think, a 5th rounder. My favorite pick in the draft, Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State. That's going to be a problem for the NFC East. I'm just going to tell y'all that right now.
Yeah, Nikki, remember
we're on notice.
Nikki, remember when I mentioned about Deuce Vaughn?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So of course that we have to deal with that. But Danny,
and by the way,
you covered in person, right? You covered the draft in person.
Yeah. I went to Kansas City. So
how was it?
Look, it was like, so on the day one of the draft, it was like they had to cut it off so people couldn't come in there anymore. They had a cutoff of people sitting outside of the gate at 60,000. So it was probably like 160,000 people out there. It was crazy. It was nuts. It was a lot of people. It was my 3rd draft. So I went to Vegas last year, and then I did Dallas in 2018, and this was the best one by far.
Really?
That's
Why?
awesome.
Why is that? Why was it like the best one for you?
I think it was because it was open to so many people. Like in Dallas, you only have so much seating, even though it goes up to 100,000 people. In Vegas, Vegas is Vegas, so it was real tough to get around.
Yeah.
And the way that it was set up, you can only do so much on the strip. but it was wide open out there in Kansas City. And
wide open.
it was wide open. and they set it up real nice. So shout out to the people in Kansas City.
Before I forget, also with Deuce Vaughn, they did have the moment of the weekend with his dad making the call to him that he's getting drafted to the Cowboys. So we can't forget about that as well.
No, and I think that's one of my favorite parts of the draft. And I said this on Rio's show. I did his show on Monday. And I like to watch like the family's reaction, you know, like especially like to watch Will Levis and his girlfriend roll her eyes because that was hysterical.
What do you rate the eye roll, Nikki?
I mean, I give a mean eye roll. So
yeah, from 1
I
to
think
10.
you saw a bunch when we met in person. So she's got a solid 7 on the eye roll. I'm like a 9.5 on the eye roll.
Yeah, you were giving.
I was gonna say you're about a 10 on the eye roll.
Yeah, yeah. Courtney knows about a 10 on.
She gets those.
Yes. Yeah. Before I move to the Eagles and the rest of their draft, we got a question in here: is Zeke re-signing? Nobody else seems to want him.
I think that it's already set. I think Zeke is coming. I think Deuce Vaughn being the pick kind of solidified that, in my opinion. I think they just had to get his money off the books, let him test the market, and then they'll probably bring him back to be our short yardage back. In case Pollard isn't, productive in the game, he'll come in, do what he does. Same role last year, just cheaper. That's what I think.
Yeah. Any word on how Pollard's recovering from his injury?
From what I understand, it's kind of keeping it under wraps. I saw a video of him today. His birthday was a couple of days ago, and he was walking around pretty fine. So that doesn't mean that the training is going that well, but he looked like he was moving pretty good. So,
all
right. Let's move on to the rest of the Eagles draft. No, none of us want to hear this shit.
You mean the Georgia Bulldog draft?
The Georgia Bulldogs
right.
over here.
Well, they did get someone from Alabama, so that
was
and Texas, yes, and Texas, yep, Stanford too. But yes, 3rd round pick Tyler Steen from Alabama, offensive tackle, versatile. I thought it was a solid pick. Just more depth for the offensive line. He protected Bryce Young's blind side, so he's number 1 pick. So that was I thought that was a good pick as well on the 3rd round. They picked up safety Sidney Brown, which that was one of the weaknesses of the Eagles. They've lost both of their safeties. So they needed to get some depth there. So from Illinois, Sidney Brown. So I liked that pick. That was solid. Keely Ringo, there's been some question marks with him as well. But he fell to the 4th round. So I was wondering, like, why was someone like that fall into the to the 4th round? But the Eagles scooped him up. So another Georgia Bulldog as well. But one of my favorites of this draft was getting DeAndre Swift. Now, they're not to brag, but the rich get richer once again.
Oh, God.
But you're getting Swift, which once he was available, and I was thinking, okay, there was rumors of the Eagles picking, trying to get a running back, trying to do Derrick Henry. That was heading into the draft, even though there was no validity to that, but that got people excited. They got Philadelphia too excited, and so when DeAndre Swift was available, I said, wouldn't be something if DeAndre Swift was the Eagles can actually make a move on DeAndre Swift, and I'm out, and then I get the alert. It's like Eagles traded for DeAndre Swift. It's like, wow. It's one of those things. It's like they needed running back depth. They got running back depth. They got Rashad Penny as well.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I guess you could have both. They both get injured, so it might one play one half of the season and the other plays the other half of the season. So that's how it's going to work with the running back. But if they both can stay healthy, that 1-2 punch would be tremendous. So with Jalen Hurts, with that big contract, just to put that out there too. So, but overall, I did enjoy the Eagles draft and getting DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I bet. How do you guys do it? I mean, really, they lose half their team, and then replenish. And
that's why I told everybody, don't get too excited. It's still a draft, and Howie has finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Howie has to know where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, no, I told
Yeah.
Nikki, he has blackmail.
Yeah,
on the
how does he keep getting top 10 picks, bro? I don't understand.
This shit is bull. It's
I
not.
tell you, man, he's that wheeling and dealing. And like I said, the GMs, they fall for it. They fall for his tricks. It's something he's doing, and I don't know, man. I mean,
that boy can work the telephone, man.
He can, right? Right?
He'll give you an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, apparently.
The thing is, Eagle fans, they have a love-hate relationship with Howie for whatever reason. I mean, yeah, he hasn't always been the best at drafting, but the guy does know talent when he does see it. Now, he has failed on some of the picks, but man, I didn't think the Eagles were going to go this route. I really didn't. And Nikki knows I'll try to be as real as possible.
Yes.
I didn't think they was going to be able to get all these, these guys were just going to keep falling. But,
it was like a PFF mock.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
God, it's not fair. I think that's my favorite thing about each one of you is that you're realistic fans, right? I mean, Rio sit here and call the Commanders poverty franchise. DMV, like we'll go at it on Twitter, but you are always very realistic. And Courtney, since I mean, we've known each other a few years now, and you've always just been realistic and kept it real, except when we did the Super Bowl panel together. And so this was funny. I had to host the NFC side, which of course was Eagles, and I was like, this is testing every professional boundary I have. And you all sat there and you were like, I asked you guys, are you worried about Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes? Are you factoring that in? And the whole panel sat there and they were like, nope, we got this. And then you went into hiding because I couldn't get you back on for a while. Let everybody know that you hid for.
In my defense, I don't know about all the other Eagle that was on that panel, but in my defense, Patrick Mahomes going into that Super Bowl, we thought, okay, this is even though one-legged Patrick Mahomes is still better than 90% of the league. But there was the Andy Reid factor, but I thought okay, they can get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. That's the only way that you could beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They get no sacks, couldn't pressure him, couldn't do anything. And that was the deciding factor. So yeah, they couldn't cover anything. So yeah, I'm still bitter.
Played his butt off though. Jalen played his butt off though.
He could have been the first guy to win MVP without being a winner. Honestly,
yeah, Jalen balled out. I mean, he really did. It's just the defense just couldn't make any. They couldn't make stops when they needed to, and that was it. That was the deciding factor right there. I'm still bitter about that. You had to bring that up.
You have to.
I did. I had to bring.
I mean, Pat Mahomes. That's what Patty does, though.
Yeah.
Outside of last year with the Bengals getting them in the playoffs and them kind of stalling them.
I still think he was concussed in that game and he didn't leave.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah, I think he was still concussed and he fought his way back on the field.
Yeah, he's still the best. He's the best player by far in the league.
Danny, I think we have a question for Courtney. Can you pop that up and we will get him to
there we go. That. Courtney, Fred Barrett, or Calvin Williams?
Geez. I was a Fred Barnett guy. I remember collecting their football cards back in the day. And
how old are you now?
Yeah, a little over 40. So, but they Fred Barnett, to Calvin Williams, they were both really good wide receivers. But I gotta take Barnett. I just thought he used to get open all the time. He was Randall Cunningham's safety blanket for the most part. So I gotta go with Barnett.
Okay. DMV, would you change your name to MVC Fanatic?
What does that stand for? Is that Maryland, Virginia, California?
Well, here it's like motor vehicle.
Motor vehicle commission. That's what I'm reading.
Hey, Rio, tell them about the DMV, man.
Tell us about the DMV.
You understand?
Traffic sucks. Tell us about it. Come on, tell us about it.
Traffic is terrible, but the culture is different. We different down here, man. I love the DC, Maryland. And when we say DC, Maryland, and Virginia, that does not count Baltimore, by the way. They in their own little land over there.
Oh.
They don't count. You put them in Delaware or something.
So that's like us with Connecticut.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Tri-state area technically is Connecticut, but it's
in Baltimore is technically in Maryland, but we don't count that as
Baltimore. Baltimore isn't even Maryland.
Yeah, that's the
funny thing about it. We don't claim Baltimore isn't Maryland. If you ask somebody from Baltimore, they'll tell you that.
They're just okay. So they're just their own.
So Roy, left hand up. Who are we? So which hand is that?
We have a song. One of our fans created a song called the Commander Song, and the hook of the song goes, "And them haters can't stand us. Left hand up, who are we, the commander?" It went popping, went super viral during the season, and they ended up securing a deal with the team. They performed at the stadium, and
Mark Holmes made that thing viral.
He did make it pop a little bit.
I'm guessing the guy that did the Allstate commercial song didn't get a contract, huh?
Oh no, Rally Captain definitely did not. And it's funny. The funny thing is, Rally Captain, that's my guy, by the way. Rally Captain was just joking, but they Pat McAfee made that shit live in infamy for like the next 3 months. And then he heard the Commander song, and they started doing it there too. But shout out to DJ O Goody, that's my guy. Just seen him at the draft party Saturday.
They played it out there in Kansas City too.
Hey,
when the Commander's pick was up.
We global, baby.
Oh,
we global, baby.
Global.
International.
All right. You guys are different over there in the DMV. All right. Well,
I miss Bird Gang 31. What's going on, guys?
I need a Nikki song. We need a Nikki G song. So
we're the only team that doesn't have a fight song. Like the Eagles and Washington.
We don't have cheerleaders either. So
facts, my boy. Facts, my boy. That's facts down there.
Yeah. DMV. Oh, what is it? DMV is the DC metropolitan area. If you can't get on the transit, you don't live in the DC area. Let me tell you, I've driven to DC a couple times and I hated my life. So it was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
I'll show you, Ron. I got you. I'll show you how to maneuver.
You gotta go hit a Nats game. The Nats game.
I'll be in DC at the end of September for work.
Yeah. Right, when you pull up in DC, you know, Nats game, and then there's a lot of stuff to do near the waterfront and Navy Yard and stuff. There's a lot of moves to make out there.
Okay, we got a lot of moves to make. I don't really go to Philly much, you know, unless I absolutely.
The invitation's open. I told you that. It's always. I'll take you to the safe spots. How about
the safe spots? I also, the Philly's got good food. There's some really, really good restaurants out there. So
get that cheesesteak. Gotta get it.
Yeah, get that cheesesteak.
What's your favorite cheesesteak?
So good out there.
Tony Luke's. That's my cheesesteak place. Love it. Love Tony Luke's. There's quite a few though, but Tony Luke's is my favorite one.
We got to ask Rio, since it's the biggest story of the offseason. New ownership.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Potential, like my buddy John says, do the Commanders get a new stadium?
They need to.
Oh, 100. That's going to be one of the first orders of business once Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, and Mitchell Rell set foot in the building. Absolutely, they're going to get a new. In 5 years, there will be a new stadium, and I'm predicting now it'll be back in DC.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be a fight for it though, because DC, Maryland, and Virginia, they didn't want to get in bed with Dan Snyder. Nobody wanted to do business with the nasty boy. But now that we have actual business acumen humans coming in, everybody wants a piece of it now. So DC, Maryland, and Virginia, they're all going to try to move mountains to get the new stadium.
Is there room? Is there room by the Nats Park? Do you know, or it would be
they want it at the old RFK site?
Oh, okay.
But it's federally and government owned, and it would take some things. But DC councilmen, they're already actively in the discussion of talking about bringing the team back home. And Muriel Bowser, she wants the stadium. I think the people want it. I think they're going to get it.
All right.
Okay.
You don't want it in Woodbridge, man?
Oh, I want it in Virginia. I'm a Virginia boy. I live in DC now, but I'm a Virginia boy through and through. Mm-hmm. Like that don't come to Woodbridge. I'm moving back, bro. I'm up for it, bro. I wanted it. I think Virginia has the most ready land, infrastructure, and nice area they can put the stadium, because technically in DC, they're going to put a state-of-the-art Superdome in the middle of the trenches. You know what I'm saying? It's going to just be in the middle of an area it probably shouldn't be. The area they want to put it to in Woodbridge is perfect, despite the fact that there's no train to come out there and the traffic's going to be hell to get to and from the stadium. Other than that, the Virginia spots are perfect.
Other than getting there and traffic.
Well, that's how it is with MetLife.
It's great. Like, we're literally on a swamp, and it really sucks getting in and out of there. Like, but I don't think Lincoln Financial is any better. Like, on Schuylkill, it's just getting out of Lincoln Financial. Oh my God. Like, I'll go to concerts there. It's
hell. Lincoln Financial, it's hell, because all the stadiums are right in a circle with each other. You know, you got the Phillies and you got the Sixers.
Baseball games going on.
Baseball going. Yeah.
So shout out the Sixers, man. Shout out to my new owner owns the Sixers. We're rooting for them boys, man. Shout out MB.
What?
You
Oh
know,
my God.
that's because the Wizards suck, bro.
Yeah, Josh Harris, my new owner, you know what I'm saying? He owns the Sixers. He owns the New Jersey Devils. So I'm a New Jersey Devils fan right now, too. Anything for my new owner to thrive, man. We want all success in the building going forward.
Oh my God. All right. So we got a bunch of Sixers fans on here, too. Well, we're excited for our Knicks. The series is tied 1-1.
True.
Knicks in 6.
That's true.
Knicks in 6.
Knicks
I like
in 6.
That. Yeah.
Well, if Jimmy Butler doesn't play, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know.
Jimmy Butler. I'm very
Rachel
nervous.
Nichols shows up.
Jimmy had that look. Jimmy had that look last night.
Yeah. Well, Courtney, let us just have this moment because I'm sure he is going to come back, and that's going to be a wrap.
Hey,
but,
you definitely got a shot. But playoff Jimmy is a real thing. That's just he just got to get healthy. If he's healthy, that's gonna go 7. I think that's definitely 7.
I'm being a biased Knicks fan.
Okay, well, we're all right, Joe, and you're a Nets fan. He's got to give me a hard time about that. I'm just gonna drink this in that I'm gonna have some hope because we haven't had hope, Danny, in such a long time, and hope is a very dangerous thing. I'm aware of that, but just a little bit of hope. I think. Just a little bit. It's fun. It's exciting. We're having a good time. But before we wrap up and get out of here for the night, everybody's asking for NFC East predictions. It's way too early. I know, I'm not going to hold you guys to it. I'll get you guys back on before the season starts. So before we kind of wrap up here, the NFC versus the AFC. I mean, I think when we talk about quarterbacks, we talk about fantasy talent, we kind of talk about all that. I think the AFC is leaps and bounds ahead of the NFC. So if you're thinking fantasy, since this is a fantasy show, we do try our best to tie it in. Any rookies sticking out to you guys on our side here that you're excited for in fantasy that you would take a shot on? Anybody stick out to you?
Really went mostly defensive.
I'm going to say Bijan in Atlanta. Probably.
Jameer Gibbs in Detroit. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Those would be the two.
Yeah.
And then maybe take a flyer on any of the young wide receivers.
Oh yeah, Addison. Yeah,
he'll be the number 2 in Minnesota. So that's gonna be filthy.
How did he get 2 Justin Jeffersons, bro? I don't understand.
I know, bro. I know.
The thing about Bijan, going to Atlanta, it's just are they gonna mess them up? That's the thing. They don't know how to use their weapons.
Yeah, they didn't use London.
B-Rob.
Well, I didn't say they were gonna win. I just said he was gonna get off.
Yeah, right. True. No, that's true. Because look at Kyle Pitts. He's in purgatory hell over there. So I feel bad for Bijan over there, but hey, he will get off. I agree.
All right, we had some questions about Sam Howell. Is he going to ball out? Is he the quarterback? What?
That's the big question. The thing is, I at least know the floor is going to be fine because that guy played tons of games in college, and he was one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in the ACC, and he comes from an NFL translatable offense. So at minimum, I know for a fact he'll be better than what Wentz and Heineke put on that field for us last year. So to start, we're better off of that alone. He gets the ball out quicker, and he has significantly more arm talent. And he's don't sleep on him as a runner. This dude ran for 1,000 yards his last year in college and over 10 touchdowns. He can run. We were talking about this on Monday, Nikki. They like to act like our quarterbacks can't run because they're white.
Yes, Vanilla Vic can run, baby. Come on. Yes.
Plus, you got Eric Bieniemy too. That's a huge factor for him. So
that guy definitely is.
That guy's intense.
And you just gotta throw it up for Scary Terry, man, and Dotson and Curtis. So
I think Sam's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna be good. I think at minimum he's gonna be good. I don't know what the ceiling is, but I think this is the best talent we've had, and it's young at quarterback since.
Because Heineke played well, and he just couldn't get you guys over the hump.
He got a lot more credit than what he actually did on the field.
Right. You're right.
Not nobody our fault. Let our fans tell it though. That guy was the second coming of Jesus Christ.
I didn't get that. Don't get him started on Heineke.
Yeah, please don't. No, I can't. I'm so glad he's.
Right. We won't get you started on Heineke.
I agree.
How about who is the number 1 running back in Washington, Gibson or Robinson?
Brian Robinson Gibson Jr. with ease, 7 days out of the week, 365 days.
Okay.
Gibson is the third down utility back, and we're going to be throwing passes to him.
Okay. All right. Oh, all right. I like it.
That
Who
video
is
is still
better?
one of the all-time videos.
Who's the best quarterback in the NFC? Is it Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
It has to be all right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I'll give it to him on paper. I give it to him on paper.
Right
On
now,
paper.
he scored 4
Yeah.
touchdowns in the Super Bowl. We all
Yeah.
dreaming for it.
He's the only elite quarterback in the conference.
You call him elite?
I mean,
Uh-oh.
he was an MVP candidate last year. He elite right now.
That doesn't make you elite.
Bro, he was elite last year. He was elite.
1 year. Elite makes
Okay, but he's elite
multiple
though.
years.
He's
You gotta
elite
do
right now.
multiple.
He's elite.
You got to do that multiple years, bro.
He's elite right now.
It's
dude.
coming.
They
Don't
called
worry.
Justin
It's-
Herbert elite. He was an MVP candidate.
I would call Justin Herbert elite.
They called him elite, bro.
I call him elite.
You call him elite now?
Justin Herbert elite.
Hell no.
Right, he has like the most yards in
Yeah,
NFL
Hurts is
history
elite,
for
man.
3, like
Jalen Hurts
3 or 4 years.
No.
He's elite.
Bro, he
Elite.
lost to 27 to nothing.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, yeah, he did do it.
It's a
Hurts is
playoff.
elite too.
People
How's
lose
that elite?
playoff games every year, man. Rodgers as elite as they get. That man been losing playoff games for 12 years straight.
That's true. DMV, who's elite then?
Honestly, I don't
Don't
use
say
elite.
Dakota. Don't you
No,
dare.
Don't say that.
No,
Don't
I've
you
never said that was
dare.
elite. No, Pat Mahomes. You got what? Pat Mahomes,
Mahomes, Burrow,
Joe Burrow.
Allen.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Josh Allen, but
Josh
like,
Allen
you know what I'm
chokes.
saying?
Is
I would
he
say Josh
elite?
Allen.
He chokes. Is he elite?
Who?
Josh Allen be choking. Is he elite? He's elite, right?
I mean, he got to an AFC Championship game though. He did. And he MVP
Jalen Hurts
conversation.
outplayed the best
But
player in the
MVP
world
conversation
in the Super
multiple
Bowl.
years.
Jalen Hurts
I
top
can't
5,
give you
man.
flash in the pan. I can't give you flash in the pan. No. But Josh Allen's been good for about 3 years in a row. 3-4 years in a row.
There's like 5 or 6 elite guys.
But Jalen Hurts is top 5 at the minimum.
Oh, yeah.
Top
Yeah.
One
That's
more,
elite.
I need to see it for one more year. And also, you guys have a lot that change. Like you have a new offensive coordinator. Steichen did a hell of a job with him last year.
Very
If
true.
I can see it again with a different coach, there's no question in my mind that he's elite. You know what I'm saying?
Is Lamar elite?
You said who?
Lamar. Is Lamar elite?
No.
He hasn't played the last 2 seasons. If he's been playing, he would be.
He elite football
Rio
player.
just
He's
said
an elite
Rio-
football
Rio-
player.
If you say
top
football
5
player,
quarterbacks
yeah.
already, right
If
there.
you say
Those-
elite
those are the
football
5.
player, yeah, but quarterback, no. Again, I don't use it loosely. Like I got
That's
about
fair.
maybe three to four guys that's elite. 3 to 4.
3 to 4. Okay. And Dak is not one of them, right?
No. Dak is top 10, but he's not elite.
Top 10. You guys put Dak in the top 10?
Yeah, he's top 10.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
he's
He
top 5.
10. He's
I
10,
think he's
but
like
he's
12,
top 10.
13. So
He's
I
not-
think
he's
this
not-
year
he's
I
about 9, but he's top 10.
Dak
Yeah.
about
him-
9 or 10, but he definitely top 10.
If you
Yeah,
go through the
I'm with
quarterbacks, yeah.
I'm with the guys on this.
Nah, I'm not. So I did this last year. I ranked Dak 14, and the hell I got.
That was
we did
savage.
the show late, right? And I
Pretty
woke
wild.
up to like the
Dak's not
worst
elite.
hate messages from the Cowboys fans
Don't do
ever.
that,
And I
Nikki.
was
Really?
like,
Really? Because
That's
Cowboy
important.
fans hate Dak too.
they were like, you know,
Especially
like
the year he had last.
Where do you have Daniel Jones if Dak 14?
12.
Hell no. Hell no. Daniel Jones better than Dak.
Eddie Dimes.
Ain't no goddamn way, Nikki.
Ain't no way, bro.
Why not?
We're
When
gonna
has he
get. We're
beat
gonna
Dak?
cook
He's never
this year.
beat him.
We're not putting 15 touchdown contributors as a top 12 quarterback in the league.
Well,
We're not
I think
doing
he's a
that.
better dual threat. You have to consider that.
Dak
Plus,
is
not.
considerably
He's
better
not.
quarterback than Daniel Jones.
yeah, he's a better dual threat. Plus, you have to understand that he did it with nothing. I mean, Cowboys are always so talented. You ask these Cowboy fans, and they're like, "Well, Dak needs more talent around him." I mean, they
Who we
bitch
do
and
with?
moan all
Who
the
we do it with
time.
last year? Who we do it?
You guys always have talent. Your lines are always great. Got running back. You always have these talents. You have these great wide receivers. You got
Not last year.
Daniel Jones
Doesn't
like,
Not
know,
last year.
like,
Don't
when
forget
to
they
to
call
always
call
win the Super Bowl
timeout.
every
he's
year
like
too, right?
19.
I could have gave you with Amari Cooper. With Amari Cooper, when we had Amari, that
here
team
we
I could
go.
last year, we have thrown passes to Noah Brown.
Yeah.
Jones top 20, and he 20.
Like the only difference between our receiver core and you guys is that we had CeeDee Lamb.
Thank God for Washington with Daniel Jones. But
No. Hold on. We had a ragtag team of nobodies that shouldn't even be the practice squad.
Right.
Had
He did
wide
too.
receivers. Daniel Jones
We did too.
literally carried that team. On his
He didn't carry.
Saquon carried it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm about
Yeah,
to
I'm about to
Saquon,
say
but
Saquon was
Daniel
really
Jones did a
good
lot.
last year.
He did.
Saquon's really solid. Yeah, Saquon's solid.
Saquon, and Courtney, did I not tell everybody this for fantasy?
Yeah, you did. Yep.
I did.
Yeah,
Well,
Jones
since-
didn't care. Jared Jones carried y'all in that playoff game, but like in
He
the
was
regular season,
he was the first
like,
quarterback
yeah.
to rush over 70,
Like,
throw for 300.
I'm not a just harp on statistics guy because the eye test matters, but nobody that threw for 15 touchdowns carried a football team.
But he literally did. Danny, how many times did we see him like he put his like blood, sweat, and tears like running his heart out because there was
Right,
no one
yeah.
to throw the ball
He
to.
threw for less
No
than one touchdown a
separation.
game. He threw for less than one touchdown a game, Nikki.
Didn't get
But
any
he also ran
separation.
for 7 touchdowns.
Do you
so.
guys know who
Daniel
Richie
Jones did
James
not-
is?
Brian,
No, I bet
your
you don't
coaches
because
carried
he's a
that team.
scrub.
That was
Okay,
a
Yeah, exactly. Y'all were a coach.
Rich
carried
James on
team.
DraftKings, I played him.
Y'all were coached well.
Y'all were a coach
No,
carried
it
football
was
team.
definitely coaching. I'm not going to disagree with that.
No, coaching is
He
definitely
turned off his turnovers, and that's what Daniel
That's
Jones.
the difference, yeah.
But he was doing it the last couple of years, and then this year was even better than the last few.
Mhm. He's
Yeah.
growing.
Paid. Daniel Jones got paid though, so
Oh yeah,
he
that's
did.
your
He
Yeah,
got-
y'all can stop talking about Dak's money now. You can stop talking about Dak's money.
Well, that Daniel Jones getting paid, that kind of like looks like a deal. But I think 40 was the right number. I would have walked if it was anything more than that. But Joe, I'm with you. I think Daniel Jones and Saquon carried that offense because there was no other offense other than those.
But yeah, this year's offense was like, all right, we're going to run the ball 50 times,
Yeah.
and Daniel Jones is going to run it. And it's really what it was this year. We got W's, so that's all it really matters.
Yeah, we got to the playoffs, you know,
got
and
a second round. Yeah,
yeah, I knew going into Philly though that I didn't even want to watch that game. That was I knew that was going to be a disaster.
yeah. We talked about that.
We
It was
did.
just one of those things. They ran to a buzzsaw. Like the Eagles they just had to get healthy. They had to get Hurts healthy that time, and they did. And
I think with
Bounty too.
Jones. Sorry.
yes, yeah.
I think with Jones, if Jones throws anywhere near 20, 25 throwing touchdowns and then add another 5 or 6 rushing, I think he's fine. But
Time out. Nikki, time out. So 25 is good to you. 25 is good.
well, you're going to add the other 5 to 6 rushing touchdowns. Obviously, I want 30. Obviously, I want 30. Obviously, I'm going to be 130, but 10 more touchdowns is obviously going to be a growth. I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's my thing with Dak.
No, I'm going to Nikki because because 25, okay, 31 total. Dak threw for 37 the year before getting hurt, and we're 14.
Yeah, because he melts down in the worst times possible. Like it just like they're always getting
So we didn't want Tom Brady
out of the first
we didn't
round. You
put
gotta
Tom Brady
factor that in. No, you can't ever see everybody's like, criteria is different. It's like, oh, you got to win playoff games and you'll be in this ranking. Well, I mean, if you're always getting bounced in the first round, actually doesn't matter
Dak
who
put
your
out the
quarterback
goal,
is.
and he played probably the best game of his career.
Oh, well, what about when he forgot to give the ball to the ref? I mean, what is this? Some epic choke jobs.
We peed down our leg the week after, but no, Dak put the goal out.
Epic choke jobs are in there.
Hey, elite quarterbacks be choking in the playoffs all the time. It's hard to win in this league.
And Rodgers every year.
Yeah, it's hard to win in this league. Josh Allen, Rodgers, and they'll tell you it's hard to win in this league. You got non-elite guys that go and win 2 Super Bowls like Eli Manning.
He started.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And he had one of the most erratic playing careers I've ever seen. We're talking about a guy who threw 25 picks a couple times in his career.
Don't say
You're talking about a guy who slayed the dragon 2 times. This is what I keep saying. You can't say.
He did slay the dragon twice. He also was getting killed by peasants on a regular basis.
The dragon too, though. The Eagles slayed the dragon too.
Nick Foles
did.
He did it. He did it twice. You guys are not understanding this. Like
no, Eli's a Hall of Famer. Eli's defense did a lot in that Super Bowl too, though.
Listen to what you said. Listen to what you said. Like Eli's the Hall of Famer, but his defense did a lot. They did.
That's any team. That's any team. Okay, how this is the thing. It's always like with Eli.
All Eli.
it's always this argument with Eli. It's like, well, his defense carried him. Okay, well, how many times have we seen defenses carry a team?
The
It's a
second
team
Super Bowl.
sport.
Second
seen
Super Bowl.
Eli throw a
I think you guys don't realize
damn helmet.
he was a road warrior. You don't realize what he did in the playoffs. That San Francisco game, I thought he was not going to survive. He's a friggin' Iron Man. He went 16 seasons, didn't miss a game till he got benched for Geno Smith. Damn respect on this guy.
He's a Hall of Famer. Easily, he's a Hall of Famer, but he has one of the wildest Hall of Fame resumes of all time.
Yeah,
he's had some shitty seasons
by now, though.
Yeah, he's had some really shitty seasons.
He has 2 more years.
He had shitty seasons because he had shitty coaching.
I mean, that happens to a lot of guys.
It was the same coaching.
He had a horrible offensive line.
I mean, those things did not make him throw picks, though, Nikki.
Win in the trenches, you're
those
not
things don't make you throw picks, Nikki. Those don't make you throw picks.
3 times.
What'd you say?
He led the league in picks 3 times. 3 times though. 3. Like one time I could see. 3.
That was always the thing with Eli, though, especially in the Kevin
Gilbride
offense. It was high risk, high reward. You can't take away. You can't take away the 2 Super Bowls. That's always the argument, right? 117 and 117.
Either though.
No, 1 year, literally every interception was off someone's fingertips.
That's the NFL.
So we can do that for.
Oh no, I'm not doing it. I'm just saying that was the frustrating thing that year.
But you can't take away either side. Like you can't take away the Super Bowls. Fair.
No.
You also can't take away the
you're
bad
right.
seasons.
I'm not taking away the bad seasons.
Ones, but we always found a way to be in the mix every year with Eli.
For sure. And that's what happens when you have an elite Hall of Fame type quarterback, and which he was.
Bro.
He will be there, and I will be there. I'll be front and center. In fact, you know what? I'm going to pay for all the Eli haters to come and just drink it in with me. And
that'll be a fun field trip.
He'll probably throw an interceptable pass at his enshrinement.
Maybe that would be funny, right? If he did.
So hold on, Rio, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite Washington quarterback for the last 20 years?
They don't exist. They don't exist. It's Kirk Cousins. That's the best I've had in my lifetime. The best I've had is Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. Wow. That's
RG3.
No, RG3 did it for 1 year and it wasn't sustainable. Don't. I'm not even gonna give you that. I'm not even gonna give you that. Bro.
Hey, he was sick,
RG3 ran a Mickey
Mouse. I was at that game his rookie year at MetLife.
He was crazy.
He was nuts.
He was crazy.
He was electrifying. Yeah. It was the offense that Kyle Shanahan drew up.
Of course.
Him and his father,
looking back at
that
it
he's still drawing up, that he's still balling.
Him and his father told the Shanahans they're not running the zone read after his rookie year, and that was the start of the downfall.
I think Courtney, I think that's one of the biggest what ifs to me in sports, and we can play this game all night, but it's like had RG3 not got tossed back into that game, what would his career look like? I mean, they just handled that inch so horribly.
No, he would have messed it up anyway though, because he was a lot of the problem.
He
really got messed up because it's Washington.
And he was most of the problem. He was an egomaniacal,
I was gonna say the Eagle. The Eagle would have got the best of him probably.
Yeah.
At that time.
Robert was the problem. He was he made them put him back.
Wasn't he good friends with Schneider too? He became good friends with them.
Schneider gave him the keys to the franchise.
But Rio, it's Washington, bro. Y'all had Kirk Cousins in here throwing and being the best quarterback that y'all have had, and y'all let him go.
I know we let Trent Williams, a Hall of Fame left tackle, go for a bag of chips.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, bag of chips, peanuts, and everything.
Bag of peanuts.
New ownership on the way, baby.
Get excited, yes. New ownership. All right, before we wrap up and before we kill each other,
they brought that Eli comment up. That's what happened.
You knew. Courtney knew. He's like, no, saw the look in the eyes. Don't do it. Don't do it, everybody. All right, Courtney, what are your thoughts? I know it's May. Like I said, we'll get you guys all back on your permanent NFC East panel. So we'll get you guys back on before we get going in the off season. But what is your way too early prediction for the Eagles for the NFC East?
Super Bowl. I mean, that's just plain and simple. I mean, you get to the Super Bowl, you got to try to get there again. I think they're gonna. Like I said, it's way too early. I'm not gonna give you a record, but they went 14-3 last year or this past season. I can see them, health permitting, that they could do it again. I think I'm thinking 14 wins and just good health and try to get the Super Bowl.
So is it Super Bowl or bust? Is it just an unsuccessful season if you guys don't make it back?
Ooh. That's tough. I don't like using that Super Bowl bust, but I'll put it out there early. Yes,
there's a team. It's you guys this year.
Yeah. All right. 14 wins. DMV, what do you got for the Cowboys and the division as a whole? Anything?
I think I got us winning the Super Bowl. And I never say that. I never say it. As a 5th seed, I think the Giants win the division this year. I think the Giants win. I think us and Philadelphia fight for the second spot. I think the Giants got a 3rd place schedule. They drafted well. So and nobody in the NFC East is repeated. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
I'm gonna go with that theme. And I think the Giants have the most continuity out of all of the teams with a good draft. So Giants win the division, Cowboys 5th or 6th seed, and I think we run the table because Michael Parsons is gonna run the NFL. Might be NFL MVP this year.
Don't y'all still got Mike McCarthy as coach? Oh,
yeah. They do. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
That'll be the killer.
Mike McCarthy has more Super Bowls than your coach.
He does, yeah, but not with Dallas.
And he's got 2 12-win seasons back to back.
What about was the last time Dallas went to Super Bowl was when videotapes were still around?
Was Mike McCarthy coaching when we put 40 on y'all? True. Multiple times though. Multiple.
Dak will probably throw 20 interceptions, and they Super Bowl 40 on y'all. This is Dallas every year. Super Bowl until the accident waiting to happen again. Oh yeah.
My favorite part about all this
20 interceptions. And he'll beat y'all.
My favorite part about all this divisional infighting is that in February, after the Super Bowl's been played, ain't none of us leaving with the trophy. Ain't none of us leaving with the trophy. Ain't no Super Bowl winner coming out the NFC East. There might be a representative in that joke, and they might outplay the team in the Super Bowl, but they're not going to leave with the trophy at the end of the night.
So what's everybody's most hated team in the division?
Wait, hold on. Let's get Rio's prediction for the Commanders.
As the one representative of the NFC Beast that did not make the playoffs this year.
Yes.
And we should have, because we went 8-1. We lost 1 game at the 1 yard line. We tied with the Giants. We lost a bullshit game on Sunday night where we had 1,000 chances to pull it off. I'm not gonna put it on the refs. I'm not that guy.
You're a better guy.
You're better than that.
But look, man, I need Washington to not be Washington this year. So I need one of 2 things to happen. We need to either be good and win double digits plus and make the playoffs. I need it. We haven't won 10 games since 2012, RG3's rookie season. We need to do that, or the season needs to be a cataclysmic disaster, and we need to go 2-15, and we need to secure Caleb Williams, period. There needs to be no mediocre. I need Ron Swan Song in Washington, because in case you don't know, new ownership, they don't keep the inherent coach, especially when they're mid or less. Ron will not be here in 2024. So I need a Swan Song to stamp us a quarterback in Sam Howell in a playoff spot, or stamp us our next quarterback when the new staff comes in here and turns this thing around in 2024. Good or trash? That's what I need out of it.
Nothing in between.
Yep, none of it.
Nothing in between. Unacceptable.
What do you think, Nikki?
Well, I got the Giants going. I'm going to say 10 wins. I think they're just going to kind of build off of what they've been doing, second season under Brian Daboll and this regime. And I'm excited to start, we start covering minicamp on Friday and Saturday, and then I'll be there for camp all summer. And I love getting like that inside look. And then I can give you guys my fantasy predictions, which they were right. My win prediction was right. And my coach of the year was right. So basically, Nikki's always right. That's the takeaway from Rush Hour. But before we go, this time I promise we'll wrap it up. Like Danny said, who do you guys hate most in the division?
Dallas, easily.
Philly.
Easy.
Philly.
The team, Dallas, but the fans, Philly. Like Philly fans aren't even like human beings, man. They're like a different breed of like species out there. I don't know what it is. Y'all are a different bunch, man.
But don't you think, like, for real, like Dallas fans, not saying all, but Dallas fans always talking Super Bowl every single year. It's not the Cowboys.
It's our year.
Y'all do the same thing. Philly fans do
the same thing. It's our year.
We done boys.
Crappy team is like, oh,
Dallas fans don't know shit about football, to be honest.
How?
I say 80% don't.
And I put our fan base up there too, because we got a lot of casuals in our fan base.
Oh yeah,
80% of Dallas fans don't.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time.
Some of the ones I run into always talking Super Bowl. It's like, especially Dallas fans here. Oh yeah, we going Super Bowl.
By us too. We have they're the Yankee Cowboy fans.
You talking
it's
about
not all fans.
It's
not all fans.
You talking about this Cowboy starter kit guy with like a high top fade and some jean shorts and the retro Zeke jersey.
Yes,
and the Jordans.
Like, where'd you come from?
That's a good point, though. It's the Cowboy Yankees fans that are like the worst. That combination is just
Cowboys, Yankees, Lakers. It's like
what? Yeah.
Hey, I liked all of those teams at one point.
It's like we just hopped on
But now I'm a Wizards, Terrapin. The only team that I don't like in the area is the Commanders. I'm a Cowboy fan. I like the Defenders. I like everything.
You know you be bumping that left hand up.
You know, hey, I ain't gonna lie, it grew on me a little bit. It grew on me a little bit.
You sang the song. Well, I hate you all equally. So no love lost. No, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I really do. Some of my favorite podcasters. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys. I know I kept you about 9 minutes over, so sorry about that. But it's the NFC East. I mean, we kind of got into everything. We were supposed to do draft grades, but we did kind of. We talked a little fantasy, but I mean, you guys you got me heated with the Eli Manning debate. I was starting to sweat again, so I was getting very hot.
I knew it'd get your juices flowing.
Know your trigger word now. Know your trigger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It was Kenny Galladay for a long time, but it's Eli Manning.
Yikes.
Yes, Eli Manning is the trigger word. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you back here Wednesday, 8 p.m. We're doing the AFC East panel, and I don't think there's going to be as much infighting as there was for this one. And we will get these guys back throughout the season, and then for our big prediction show at the end of August. All right, you guys have a nice week, and I will see you next Wednesday.
And hail to the Commanders.
Go Giants.
Go Giants.
It's our year.